What's going on, you guys? So today I'm going to be doing a tutorial or walkthrough of a beat that I made, of course, a while ago. And I'm going to be showing how you can build a song around a sample. So not waste any more time, I'm going to go ahead and get started. First thing I did was, of course, find a sample and loaded it into Slice. And in Slice, I divided it into two markers. So I'm going to go ahead and play the sample for you. And at that point, once I did that, I added them individually into the step sequencer and cloned them. I cloned each loop, so you see loop 1 and loop number 2. You have a loop number 1 reversed, and here I reverse it because what I like to do is reverse a lot of my samples, and this way it adds a different, I won't say texture, it just adds a nice variety to the song if you reverse your samples, in my opinion. So here's what the sample sounds like reversed. First one, second one. Okay, so you'll hear the reverse parts and the breakdown switch. So for the intro, once I had the sample, I wanted to add a bass melody to it, bass line. So that's where here, oh, hold on. Here I added the bass tone. And I made this in GMS. And the best suggestion I can give to finding the root note or the bass of a sample is train your ear. Honestly, that's the only thing I can say. Like here, I EQ'd out for the sample. I EQ'd out the low end so that way I can add on the bass and make that prominent. So once I did that, I added a hi-hat loop, which, excuse me, here it is. And to get it to cut off like this, again, click on the sample, lower the, I'll reset it. Sorry if you can hear background noise in my apartment, but okay, so you lower the attack, raise the hold all the way, lower the decay, the sustain, and the release so that you can have that rectangle there. So added that, and then on top of that, I added another loop, which is this clap fill. As you can hear, it'll have a lot of delay and a lot of phaser effect on it. So it sounds very in a loud room. And then after that, add chant, what you'll hear, and then cardiac strings. Love my cardiac strings. Shout out to cardiac. So you have these strings here. And again, I'm sorry if you can hear me breathing in the mic. So it's not a very expensive mic. So that's primarily what I have for the intro. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that for you before I break down the verse and then the hook. I also like to mention that I like to do it, and I know some other producers like to do it too, is before you start a session, make sure you bring the levels down so that way you can raise and drop things as you go along instead of having everything maxed out in the beginning. So anyway, on to the verse. Again, I didn't add a lot. I say I just added a simple drum pattern, which is kicks, open hi-hat, and snare. Then after that, added the clap fills back in, and then I added this 808, which I didn't want it to be that complicated like some of the other beats I made in the past, where you know the 808's going from here to here and with all the glides and all that. So I added a simple, like maybe 1 or 2 notes with some slides into it, and this is the only 808 going throughout the entire song, or the same pattern I should say. So got that. And then I also found this guitar lick in my drum kit. Well, not my drum kit, but a drum kit in my selection. And all I did was add some echo to it under the functions tab. Okay. So I have that, and then eventually throughout, as you see here, I took out the drum pattern and I had this percussion element with just the snares and some hi-hats, some snare rolls. Okay, and while that's playing, I added the bass back in, and then I added this guitar from Omnisphere. It's called Bluesy Lead. I played the notes out on my MIDI controller. Just went down the scale. And then that last note holds into the hook. So I'm going to go ahead and play the verse for you. Then as it goes into the hook, I played out this vocal melody. Again, this sound is from Omnisphere. It's called Jazz Combo Ensemble Well. And I played it out, or just went up and down the scale. And I thought this added something different. It has some water. So have that playing throughout the hook. And then again added the cardiac strings back in, the regular drum pattern, and that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna play it from the verse into the hook. Goes to the second verse where everything's practically the same, but I just added some hi-hats once I brought the 808 back in. Then I'll stop it for the breakdown switch. Okay, now here's my favorite portion of the song. It's my personal favorite. Here again, I added the loop back in, but I reversed it like I showed in the intro. So here's what that sounds like by itself. I let that drive the outro of the song. Once I had that, I was like, okay, this sounds good. So what I wanted to do was bring the guitar back in, but I changed the notes of it. So like just get that cool like R&B slow down feeling. And I changed up the bass to match the sample. And I forgot to mention I also added a cutoff frequency filter to the loop, so that way it pushes it to the background kind of. And I had it that automated too here. So anyways, now I'm gonna bring in the kick, snare, and then the percussion to finish out the beat. And there you go. So if you want to hear the whole beat again, I'll put a link to it in the description box from my SoundCloud and the YouTube video. But if you haven't already, if you're so low, subscribe to my YouTube channel and or follow me on SoundCloud. So again, thank you for watching. If you if you want to see more tutorials like this with the face cam or not, I just thought I'd try this out. Just let me know. Send me a message on Twitter, on YouTube, and all that good stuff. But till then, I'm out.